Today, we are looking at a phrase that I think almost everyone has heard. Comes up early on. You're getting to know someone, and it sounds so reasonable.
It sounds like a sign of respect, almost. You know the one. Hey, just so you know, I'm usually really busy with work, so I don't check my phone that often. Please understand if my replies are late.
Exactly. And our immediate reaction, well, my immediate reaction is to be the good person, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's so thoughtful. They're being honest. You appreciate the heads up.
You rush to say, no, that's totally fine. I get it. That's great. You work hard. You want to seem understanding, easygoing.
And right there, in that moment of agreement, our source material says the relationship is basically over. You've just, and this is their term, you've just signed a slave contract.
It's a shocking way to put it, but the theory behind it is, well, it's pretty compelling.
It is. So, okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into how that one single, seemingly innocent sentence is used as this incredible power move and what this power design theory can tell us about protecting our own value.
Our mission today is really to deconstruct that phrase, I don't check my messages often, and show how it's used to set the entire frame of a relationship, basically giving one person all the leverage.
Okay, let's get into the anatomy of this move. You mentioned power design theory. What is that exactly? How does it view this statement?
So power design theory, as our sources define it, is really a framework for understanding social dynamics. It looks at how those first small, casual moves, what it calls frame settings, end up deciding who holds the power in the long run.
Frame settings. Okay, so it's like setting the initial rules of the game.
Precisely. The person who successfully sets that initial frame gets to define what's normal for the interaction. So when they say, I don't check my phone often, they're not really asking for your understanding.
They're telling you.
They're declaring the rules. It's a unilateral statement. And the rule is, I will not put in consistent effort, and you must get used to the position of waiting for me.
Wait, I mean, isn't setting boundaries a good thing? A healthy thing? How do you tell the difference between someone saying, hey, I don't text during work meetings, and this kind of manipulative frame?
That is a fantastic question, and it's a crucial distinction. A healthy boundary is usually about protecting one's own well-being, and it's typically negotiable. A manipulative frame, according to this analysis, is designed specifically to shed relational duty.
Shedding relational duty. What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. Normally, if I take, say, 5 hours to text you back, there's a kind of unspoken social rule that I should probably say, hey, sorry for the delay, got caught up in something.
Right, a quick apology. It acknowledges the other person's time.
Yes. That apology creates what the sources call relational debt. It shows you value them. But once you've agreed to the I'm busy frame, that debt just vanishes.
Oh, I see. So if they reply 5 hours later, they don't have to say sorry.
Yeah.
They could just...
They can just say, well, I told you I was busy. And they can almost say it smugly. That one initial statement gives them total immunity from accountability. They're hiding their potential laziness or just plain indifference behind this noble shield of being busy.
It basically pre-approves their negligence.
Yeah.
And that's where the real human cost comes in, which brings us to the trap of being so understanding.
Right. Because once you accept that frame, you're immediately put in what the source material calls the subordinate position. You've just enlisted in the waiting squad.
The waiting squad. That's painfully relatable. You're the one checking your phone. You're the one wondering if they're okay or if they saw your message or
if they just don't care. And we've all done it, right? You see they're active online, maybe posting a story, but there's no reply to your text from 3 hours ago.
And you can't even get mad because if you express any frustration, you've broken the rule that you agreed to.
That's the trap. You've lost the moral authority to be disappointed. The second you push for a higher standard, you risk them turning it around on you.
And suddenly, you're the one who's being unreasonable. You're needy, or you're a narrow-minded person who just doesn't understand someone who works so hard.
And just like that, the person who set the frame becomes the controller. They control all the access, all the attention. They're essentially using a psychological tactic known as intermittent reinforcement.
Right, like a slot machine. You get a reward just often enough to keep you pulling the lever.
Exactly. They contact you only when they feel like it, which makes their attention feel like a prize. It keeps their effort low, but it maximizes your anxiety and your emotional investment.
And here's the part of the analysis that really stings. It says that your understanding, your willingness to wait, actually lowers your value in their eyes.
It does.
Why? I mean, why would being patient and understanding make you seem less valuable? We're always told patience is a virtue.
Because in this power dynamic, your patience is read as low self-regard. By accepting minimal effort without any pushback, you're signaling that your time isn't valuable. You're effectively saying, it's okay to neglect me. You become easy to manage.
Easy to manage. Wow. There's no challenge. So you think you're showing grace, but you're actually just modeling that you'll accept low standards.
You've confirmed you'll always be there waiting whenever they decide to grace you with their attention.
Okay, this is all a bit abstract. Let's make it really concrete. The source material gives these fantastic case studies. Let's walk through those.
Yeah, this is where it really clicks. So the scenario is a man sends a message after a 5-hour delay. He's already set the "I'm busy" frame.
Okay. And first up, we have case A. This is the understanding subordinate. Let's call her the validator.
Perfect. So the man's message comes through and it says, just got off work. Today was crazy. He's basically fishing for sympathy.
And the validator, who's probably been feeling a little anxious for the last few hours, she pushes that feeling down and replies immediately, "You worked so hard," little crying emoji. "Did you eat? That must have been so tiring."
She's prioritizing his comfort over her own feelings. She's validating his self-image as this incredibly busy, important person.
So what's the man's takeaway from that interaction?
It's unambiguous. He learns, I can ignore this person for 5 hours, and not only will she not be upset, she will actually reward me with comfort and praise. She's easy. Her value goes down because she's proven she is dependent on his attention, no matter how poorly it's given.
She just reinforced his frame.
Yeah.
Hard. Okay, now let's look at case B. This is the recommended approach. This is the frame breaker, or maybe the equalizer.
The equalizer, I like that. So, same scenario. The man sends his message. Maybe he even doubles down a little. Just got off work. You know I don't look at my phone when I work, right? He's just checking to make sure she remembers the rule.
Okay, so how does the equalizer respond?
She doesn't argue. She doesn't complain. She mirrors his exact boundary back to him. She replies, oh, really? I'm actually the same way. I really have to focus when I work too, and I don't like a lot of back and forth. We seem to match well on that. Let's talk later when we both have some actual time.
Whoa. Okay, that is a completely different energy.
It's a game changer. She does 3 things there. 1, she agrees with his frame, so there's no conflict. 2, she immediately claims that exact same high value trait for herself, which neutralizes his power. And 3, she shows total independence. She's not waiting around.
So the controller, the guy, he was expecting her to be anxious and grateful, and instead, he gets this.
Instead of feeling powerful, he suddenly feels a little anxious himself. He's thinking, wait a second, she wasn't sitting there waiting for my text. She's busy too. Maybe she's more independent than I thought.
His scarcity tactic just completely backfired, and that unexpected resistance makes her way more interesting.
Her value goes up instantly.
This all leads to, I think, the most fundamental and maybe the most painful truth in this whole analysis.
It's the ultimate priority check, isn't it? The simple fact is, anyone, no matter how busy, can find 30 seconds to send a message to someone they genuinely want to talk to. They can do it from the bathroom, from an elevator, whatever.
Time is never the real issue. Priority is the issue. That phrase, "I don't check my phone often," is just a more polite, even self-aggrandizing way of saying.
You are not a priority to me right now.
And when you finally internalize that, it becomes obvious what you have to do. The first step is just stop playing the role of the super understanding person.
That great understanding is just turning you into a low-value target who can be treated casually.
So, practically speaking, someone says to you, "I don't reply often." What's the perfect non-confrontational response that sets an equal frame?
It's that mirroring tactic we saw with the equalizer. You set the exact same boundary right back at them, but you do it in a light, agreeable way. The best response is something like, oh, that's perfect, actually. Then I won't have any expectations either. That keeps things nice and casual for both of us.
Why is framing it as casual and easy so powerful?
Because it hits 2 birds with 1 stone. First, you're aligning with them, so you're not needy. But second, you're subtly communicating. If you are going to treat me casually, then I will treat you just as casually, and I'm perfectly happy with that. You take away their power to make you wait.
And that triggers the great paradox of power in these dynamics. When you stop waiting, when you show you're not attached to the outcome,
the whole structure flips. The controller was operating on the assumption that you were eagerly available. When you show that you're not, that you're busy with your own life, they suddenly realize their influence is gone.
And the scarce resource is no longer their attention, it's yours.
Exactly. And that fear of losing control, of losing access to you kicks in. And that, paradoxically, is the exact moment they'll often start picking up their phone and contacting you more, because you've become unpredictable. You've become a challenge.
They realize the cost of neglecting you just went way up. It all comes back to that final rule from the analysis. Power flows to the person who makes others wait, not the one who waits.
Your goal isn't to force them to text you back faster. It's to establish yourself as someone whose time is valuable and can't be taken for granted.
It's a really profound shift in perspective. We've taken this phrase that sounds like simple, polite communication and shown how it can be this incredibly sophisticated tool for dodging responsibility and setting up a totally unequal dynamic.
And just knowing the game is being played allows you to sidestep it. You can spot the tactic, break the frame, and maintain that crucial sense of parity in the relationship.
So as you go out there and you listen for this, here's a final thought to mull over. Building on this idea, if declaring low effort can create this kind of power for someone, what other common, seemingly polite phrases are secretly being used to offload work or effort or emotional labor onto you? In your job, with your friends, anywhere, what stands out to you? That's something to keep exploring.